Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders. Okay.
Ooh.
Do we have to?
I know. Do we?
Well,
Because it's bad.
Should we just do the whole thing like he did?
If we're going to be honest about it, holy shit, are you kidding me?
Content creator, good.
Sure.
Okay, if he's a content creator,
Sure.
Yeah.
it is good.
Yeah.
Okay, like that was a hilarious response. Once again, this is just like, this kind of goes back to the Anthony Richardson conversation that kind of happened a year ago. It's like when you're a quarterback, it's just a different animal. Like being a quarterback is just a different thing. Yeah. You're the CEO of a company. You're the face of a multi-billion-dollar operation. Like that's what a quarterback is. Me, punter, could get away with being a dumbass in certain things. Don't have the spotlight on me all the time. Shedeur, third-string quarterback, fifth-round pick, obviously has a massive spotlight on him because of who he is, the success he's had, how many people follow and like him, and also, you know, the family he comes from is a very important piece of the entire puzzle because that particular family, the dad happens to be one of the greatest athletes to ever exist. Not just one of the greatest football players, just athletes of all time, motivators, businessmen, musicians, we'll even say.
Sure.
I mean, you name it, good at everything. So family is going to be followed. Him being a part of that, obviously going to be talked about. So him responding to Rex Ryan saying, I don't need to hear you talk. I don't need to hear your mouth. I don't need to hear you talk. I don't need to hear another word from a third-string quarterback, which is not just Rex Ryan's thoughts. That is pretty much anybody that's in the NFL's thoughts. Because it's hard enough to win a game already. This happened with Tebow. Okay, the Tebow effect, Tebow mania. Hey, we don't need added distractions because of a backup quarterback or a third quarterback. Life's already hard enough in the NFL to get a win. We don't need to be bringing more bullshit to our locker room, which is probably why you didn't see Shedeur get drafted until the 5th round. Now, allegedly, there was Ravens and who knows how many other teams that wanted to draft Shedeur, and they said no, declined, which once again is a whole nother conversation that's happening around NFL buildings about these people are declining opportunities to get in the NFL. Like, what are they? Like, you have those people that just live in NFL buildings. So him miming his answer about Dillon Gabriel becoming starter and him still being a third-string quarterback, hilarious response to somebody that's talking shit about you or to you, especially whenever they say, I don't want to hear you.
Sure.
Like, that is
pretty clever.
That is a hilarious response. Like, I would like to say, on the record, hysterical response. And people have said, hey, I don't want to hear the punter before, and I wish I would have thought of this idea. I would like to say that I wish that was the case. But much like everybody else has kind of reiterated, this is like a content creator type thing as opposed to maybe an NFL quarterback. Now, all he needs is one team to want him. Okay? So who cares if you piss off a bunch of decision makers with this? Who cares if you legitimize all the worries about you being a distraction or something not taking it serious, or do you want the best for the team? All that. There's people that are going to be able to spin that in NFL buildings that this is not good for us to have in our building. But once again, all he needs is one team to be like, pretty clever, actually. I like the way he's talking shit back. I like how he's maintained his moxie throughout this entire process. I don't think Dillon Gabriel, even though people are taking his quote and saying he's taking a shot at him, it's like, feels like Dillon Gabriel, Joe Flacco, even when Kenny Pickett was there was never like beef towards Shedeur Sanders. And Shedeur was doing a lot of community stuff before, and it was never like beef towards Shedeur. It is heightened awareness, heightened clout because of who he is. So he knows, he has to know that and understand that. Everybody's gonna talk about it, but like, there's definitely people in the NFL that are like, exactly. That is exactly what we thought. But you don't really hear Dillon saying like, Kevin, you don't really hear anybody that's actually in there being like, this guy is a nuisance or a pest or drama or controversy or anything like that. But there is a lot of shit that gets out that you just think to yourself, well, that's not a desirable thing that we would want to see from a third-string quarterback for our team. That is kind of what people think. But it's like Shedeur's going to get covered in a different way. How many times does ESPN Cleveland radio have an iPhone on the third-string quarterback?
Right.
Okay, so it's like never, normally. I was the third-string quarterback for the Colts for a couple of times, and I wasn't asked questions ever. So it's a gift and a curse. Everybody knows what's coming with the Sanders family and what it is and how it's going to be. Just like with Tebow, just like all these people that get labeled potentially a distraction. There's going to be people that hate it, and every move that happens legitimizes that hate. And then all you really need, though, is just one person, one decision maker to be like, I don't mind it. We can handle it. If it gets in our building, he'll be good. We'll see if that ever happens.
Well, probably kind of hard, too, for Shedeur, just because him and Gabriel came out at the same time. They played college at the same time. And, like, it's probably easy for Shedeur to look at his stats in college and, you know, Gabriel's stats in college, whatever, and maybe think he's better. It just doesn't make any sense for him to kind of come out and do that whole thing. It just creates drama immediately. And you mentioned Tebow. Like, Tebow is the only comparison. And if you were to go back and, you know, listen to Tebow or watch his stuff, he's not doing doing that shit. And then Tebow eventually, you know, I forget if he was the starter immediately or eventually got an opportunity, but he wasn't doing any like bullshit to make some sort of storyline. Like, this is not a story if Shedeur just answers the questions honestly, or unless he answers them honestly and is like, yeah, I'm way better than this fucking guy, which he might, excuse me, but like I'm not
gonna
sure.
talk. Why? Because if I say something, it's not gonna be. And also, I don't want to hear me, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to say what I gotta say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What if Shedeur thinks this is the greatest out? I don't know what you want me to do. I was told they don't want to hear me, but I can't give my actual answer. So you want me to do coach speak?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's what quarterbacks do.
That is what NFL rooms want. Now, fans, his followers, his supporters, sports media, obviously, we've all talked about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody has hit it. We love that this is happening, but I don't know if it's necessarily the right move for an NFL career, if that is what you're looking for. But we don't know what Shedeur. Once again, all you need is one team to be like, that's fucking hilarious. We wish we would have done that to Rex Ryan, actually.
I don't know if you had any guys like teammates like this when you were playing, but like, is there a point?
You okay? You
Swallow a bug. Swallow a bug.
You get choked up?
Hey,
or
I
you
hear
swallow
you,
a
man.
bug?
Swallow a bug.
Saw Yankees tonight.
I did swallow a bug. I'm sorry, but because like
He got emotional last night.
yeah, I did.
I FaceTime with him last night. It was much better FaceTime than the ones that I have been having with him.
Yeah.
40-40 tie. Iowa just lost.
Sure.
Yankees lost to the Stars. It was a bit
It was a little more pleasant. But like you mentioned, like we haven't heard anything about the other quarterbacks in the room or Stefanski being like, "Hey, we're sick and tired of this guy." But at what point would like maybe a vet go up to him and be like, "Hey, you got to stop doing this shit. Like, just shut up. Every time you say something, it is becoming a distraction." Like, how much of that is actually leaking into the building, you think?
I don't know. I don't think nobody said anything about him in the team, which I think is the only thing that matters. For us, it's all fodder. As soon as the locker room starts talking, then we'll start taking it serious. And then there's people that were saying Dillon Gabriel. I think these are Shedeur Sanders fans saying that Dillon Gabriel took a shot at Shedeur Sanders. Listen to the entire. This is 51 seconds, and then he says like a very cliche almost answer about how people in professional sports have described getting their first start.
I think it's funny because, you know, I got a text from a good buddy of mine, and he sent me a picture of a fire station, you know, and like, it's kind of like, why are you sending that, you know? But when he sends it, you know, he just lists the obvious, right? Like, doors are open, garage doors are open, like, things are ready to go, and like, they're just waiting on that phone call to like respond surgically. And like, just what a great representation of like the job I had and being ready for that moment. And I think, you know, I smile because it's like a moment you prep for and you are extremely excited for, but also got to realize that it's extreme focus. And that's what I've continued to harp on. But
Hell yeah.
you wait for the perfect time, you know, you're going to wait a whole lifetime. So for me, I've always been ready.
Well, Shedeur has a song called Perfect Timing. This is a shot at Shedeur. It's like nobody's ever said, like, hey, no perfect time's coming, or if you wait for a perfect time, it's never going to show up. It's like, I think he handled that amazing.
Yeah.
Dillon Gabriel has handled this entire thing perfectly as well.
It hasn't been easy.
Because he's third-round draft pick, first quarterback drafted to the Cleveland Browns. He probably thinks, I'm about to have a great NFL career.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to have an incredible NFL career, as he should be thinking like that, especially after how he played at Oregon everywhere but the Rose Bowl. And then at Oklahoma with why he ended up going to Oregon because of how good he was. And all he's done, he said extreme focus and staying locked in. He hasn't said shit. He hasn't done anything. There's been so much loud around him about the guy getting drafted after him. He probably started to worry, actually, about maybe everybody's working against me here. You know, like he probably started feeling like maybe I'm not even getting an opportunity, letting like negativity kind of slip in. And he never let it waver, never wavered, just has continued to go about it. I think he has handled this perfectly, and that was not, the internet loved hearing that was a slight. And I am very quick to be like, oh, that guy's kind of taking a shot at that. I thought that was like almost a cliche answer at the end of the entire thing. And I'll also say, perfect timing, great song. So both ways can kind of be right at this particular
Tell you what,
point.
DG's got a very wise friend. That fire station thing, I like that a lot.
Doors are open.
Okay.
Garage doors are open.
Just wait.
Just waiting for the time. You got to be prepared. And he said, that's all I've really thought about, extreme focus. And if you wait for the perfect time, it's never going to come. And we've talked about that with rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
It's like, man, if he goes in there now, he's going to play
Like Shide?
this team.
You're right,
He's got to
100%.
play this team. He's got to play this team. It's like, hey,
There's a
that's
lot
the
of-
NFL.
Yeah.
They're all good.
He's going to have to play really good people. Very well done.
Great gimmick.
So Rex Ryan,
Yeah, I mean,
Rex
fooled
Ryan.
me.
So Coach, this is where it came from. So Rex Ryan and many others were basically like, I don't want to hear from the third quarterback for the Browns, basically. Like, hey, we don't need to hear that. That is basically what they said. So the next time he had a camera in his face, once again, third-string quarterback, fifth-round draft pick rookie, has cameras in his face because he's Shedeur Sanders. They knew that whenever he's coming into the building. He decides not to make any sounds then. Everybody doesn't want to hear from me. Okay, I'm not going to make any sounds. Good content creation. I will say, genius idea, expert level trolling.
Yeah.
Okay, like phenomenal stuff here. As a coach, though, Stefanski, obviously on the offensive side of the ball as well, we haven't heard really Dillon Gabriel say anything negative, Joe Flacco say anything negative, Kenny Pickett say anything negative. Nobody in the locker room really. It's all just outside noise. But that quarterback room is a sacred place. Dillon Gabriel, I think, has handled it very well, and now he's having an opportunity to obviously play against a B. Flores defense. But how do you manage that type of stuff? The word distraction gets tossed out a lot, and obviously it's a terrible word in the NFL and most professional sports. How do you manage that, especially at the most important position in the most important room of the team?
Well, I mean, just seeing the video there live, I mean, my first reaction is, I mean, don't we have a sense of humor? I mean, I thought it was kind of funny personally.
Yes.
But,
exactly.
you know, but I think really, I know just being fortunate to be a head coach, you know, at the beginning, back in 06, where, you know, really social media kind of, you know, really took off, and AJ will remember this situation. We had a situation where a young rookie took a picture of Josh sitting in a hot tub, and then it hit social media. So that was like the first time that I had to actually be educated on what exactly is social media, Instagram, and then you learn to deal with those things. And so I do think it is a time and place deal. Content is real. I mean, I am very well experienced in content because I just worked at the content enterprise of the world the last 5 years prior to doing this great show with you, Pat. So it's very, you know, it's financially beneficial, and there's definitely some gain in that. So I mean, I look at that as from personal, but as a head coach, absolutely, you don't want any distractions. And I do agree with Rex. You don't want to hear about the third string quarterback, but I think the really thing is the question is, you know, what are they saying in Cleveland? And you know, I would think that, you know, like going back what I just said earlier, the quarterback rooms are, you know, offensive line. I mean, some of those rooms are some of the closest rooms that I know that I've been able to witness over the last 30 years in this league. So and so as long as those guys are okay in the locker room, because the most important room in the organization is the locker room. And I've always believed that. And just as long as those guys are right, because it's all about the football. I mean, we're going to laugh and guys are going to do things. Some guys will do something a little stupider than others that will cross the line. But, you know, long as it's not too far over the line, you pull them back in, because you do want everybody to beat themselves. AJ, we used to talk about all the time with you leadership guys. You know, we want the personalities of everybody in our locker room structure, rules, and, you know, how we want to operate within our culture. We want everybody to be themselves, because everybody will be the best version of themselves. So, and is that the first time it's ever happened, an interview without any audio? That's probably, you got to give them some kudos.
Multiple questions. Multiple questions.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I personally don't think that stuff's a huge deal, unless it's an issue in the locker room. And I think I think like a lot of things in life, we all probably need to learn how to laugh a little bit more. So that's how it hit me when I first saw the video.
I love that.